49, 49, Lewis Kelly. 49, 49, I say. 49, 49, Lewis Kelly.
Odunayo, Oluwafemi, Oluwabi, Adesanya will be back.
Thank the Lord we made that call in the week that we made that call, because Man United, just like Kaizer Chiefs, are getting charred once again. Anthony Davis for Doncic to go join LeBron and the rest of them. That's diabolical. I don't know how that trade happens.
Welcome back, Vibes and Victories. First show for the month of love. Yeah. The year is swiftly shifting along. It's myself from Tunzi, Fudge, Mabeta, Tamtura Lowo, together with the sports sangoma besides me over here. What an incredible weekend we had. For some, the month of love is a blessing. It's fun. For others, not so much. But sports sangoma, let's get into some retro results, mate. I can't wait. What a weekend.
Yeah. Classic weekend all round. There's quite an interesting sporting calendar this weekend. Not to say the one coming isn't going to be more interesting. But just generally, let's start off with our dear team.
Ooh!
The Gunners. You got to love that. 5-1 to the Gunners. We chowed Man City. Now we know that we're the ones making the run at Liverpool at the top of the log. Nottingham, can you believe it? They got that comeback that we spoke about. I did say Nottingham would bounce back 7-0 against Brighton, who's not a bad team. Yeah. So 7-0 is quite hectic. And then no favours from Bournemouth for the Gunners, though. They Fudge, Liverpool still did the business and got that win at 2-0. And then Newcastle called to bounce back with Nottingham, but we got that call wrong. Newcastle at home lost 2-1. Wolves had a great upset, which was probably the upset of the weekend, over Aston Villa. Everton 4 past Leicester. That one we called. Spurs, great bounce back. Another one that we called over Brentford away. And then Man United.
My boys.
Oh,
I love it.
Man United, yeah. We obviously made that bet in the right week. For that steak dinner that BTS here, the crew keeps on reminding me about. We'll get around to that steak dinner, but thank the Lord we made that call in the week that we made that call, because Man United, just like Kaizer Chiefs, are getting charred once again.
What is that now?
Hey? I know my learned friend here next to me likes Abo Yellow. So, yeah, there was a slight jab at you there, Fudge. But, and then La Liga, moving right along. Villarreal did the business, as we said. Atletico did the business. Villarreal beat Valladolid 5-0. Atletico Madrid beats Mallorca 2-0. But our producer, Gogs, the team that he supports, Real Madrid, what happened? They slumped to Espanyol.
I love it.
1-0. So that makes the title race. That makes the title race a lot more interesting. Especially with the fixtures we've got coming up this weekend, which we'll get into a bit later. Into the UFC, Adesanya. What do you have to say? That's your mate. I know you're listing his names to me just now.
Listen, he'll be back. He'll be back. You know what I said, Nigeria, bro. Israel, Mobolaji, Temitayo, Odunayo, Oluwafemi, Oluwabi, Adesanya will be back. Don't worry, my boy. The last style bender.
Yeah, no, the last style bender. The last time we'll probably see him. I think he's pretty much done. If you didn't watch the fight, he got knocked out in the second round. There's a big debate that he could have carried on, but look, he got rocked, Oksanayo. But let's see if your last style bender will make it back to the UFC ring. And then moving right along, then Six Nations. There were some results there. I didn't see Italy did a bit better than I thought. They lost only by, I think, 11 odd points, 31-19, 12 odd points, something like that. And then Ireland did the business against England, as we called it. And then your +10 on Wales, mate, unlucky there. French put 43 points past Wales, which was a bit of a mess. And then to the ladies cricket under 19, they got all the way to the finals. The ladies under 19 cricket, unfortunately, India kind of dominated that game, and it is India. They are the best in the world across formats and across men and women. And unfortunately, they came short in that ladies final, but it was a great showing nonetheless to the ladies out there at the under 19. Women's T20 World Cup.
Amazing.
Yeah, but Fudge, what's on your flavors for today? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, mate. Some of those flavors of the weekend for me, it was sweet, it was sour, it was also satisfying. The sweet side, we know all about that. Come on now. 5-star, Michelin star treatment. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out there. Lewis Kelly, Nwaneri.
Yeah.
Man, what a,
all I can say is this.
cherry on top.
Yeah, that celebration dinner
Love
for me.
it.
Sunday
Love it.
evening, that was dope.
Amazing. Yeah,
That is as
that's-
sweet as it gets, Fudge.
It's as sweet as it gets,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
The sour, and I'm not going to look at you, mate, because you're wearing a well-embellished Pirates cap over there, but the sour was Chiefs losing in the last minute to an absolutely jam-packed Soweto derby. Wish I could have been there. That it looked incredible. Yeah. And last minute, come on,
Yes.
Kaiser Chiefs.
Yes, man.
right?
Those tickets were hard to come by. I won't lie to you. Those things were sold out 3 weeks before. Look, I've become not such a big fan of the derby for various reasons. It's kind of a pup game usually, and it wasn't too bad of a game. But I'm used to 0-0 draws, except for that controversial penalty, which some people think was controversial. But if you watch it in slow-mo, it was definitely a penalty, and the ref made the right call. But the cherry on top for me is the chip.
A rotten
the
audacity.
cherry.
A rotten molded cherry,
The
man.
audacity of shooting like that.
Sour for me. That was sour for me. And then satisfying. And I like this, actually.
Yeah.
Was Jam the comedian. Shout out, actually, at Jam.
Yeah,
For
shout out
his
Jam.
little jab at the European clubs using the 6-2 bench. The Fong Kong bomb squad, if you will, you know. So anyways, that was I thought that was quite satisfying.
That was
quite a
very
fun
satisfying. You know, they wanted to change the rules because of Russia in the box, and all of a sudden now half of the Six Nations are running the same trick. So that's very interesting. But yeah, shout out to Jam on that one. He definitely brings a bit of comedy to these everyday life and sporting situations. But yeah.
So those are my flavors for the weekend: sweet, sour, and satisfying. Boys banter, mate. We almost got into it there with my my flavors there before, but
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
there's a lot to talk about. I mean, firstly, the trade-offs happening with the Mavs.
Possibly the worst thing I've ever seen in NBA history. The Dallas Mavericks trading their superstar and a three-player trade each way for Anthony Davis, for Doncic to go join LeBron and the rest of them. That's diabolical. I don't know how that trade happens. Obviously, the new owners, I think they've got something else up there.
Yeah, there's a BTS there. BTS. What's the scoop?
Jens, it makes no sense. They've got nothing for you at the back here, bro. Like,
Right? Like, what's
Dallas
going on,
literally
actually?
has had maybe 2 franchise players in the last fucking 50 years. They've had Dirk Nowitzki and this guy. They've been to the finals only 3 times ever. This is one of the guys who have taken them there.
Yeah.
Dirk obviously won, I think, in 2012. Shout out to Dirk, but I mean, like, this was the future of the franchise. Like, to get an aging AD at this period of time for an extra lighty as well as 1 pick in 2029.
Yeah.
Like, if you are going to trade someone like Luka, you got to shop him around. You can't just the first phone call you get, you speak to LA, you're okay. If you're going to, which top 5, that guy's top 5 of never trading. You don't trade a franchise player like that.
Not like that.
story.
Nah.
Not like that.
Yeah, look, it took him by surprise, and it took his old man by surprise. It took the whole of Dallas by
Imagine.
surprise. Like, that's insulting. But he got off the PJ and he had his LA sign up, and he's ready to rock. And watch him have one of his better seasons coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that was, look, good luck. NBA, things are getting nice and spicy.
Yeah, apparently it's because he's not taking Ozempic. That's why he's getting traded. They're saying he's getting chunky.
Yay.
Yeah, let's just wait and see how that one turns out for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. The Gunners, boom.
Yeah, we're going to spend a bit of time on the Gunners here. That was amazing. Those 5 goals were ridiculous. If you go back and watch each of those goals could qualify for goal of the month quite easily. There were some out there goals from some very young players.
49, 49, Lewis Kelly. How does the song go?
49, 49, Lewis Kelly. 49, 49, I say. 49, 49, Lewis Kelly. Yeah, no, it was very dope, yeah. Arsenal Gunner supporters are obviously flying on a high at the moment. The boys obviously got a bit of momentum. That's a great win against City. Kendrick Lamar being played at the end of the match. How brilliant. In the Grammy week, on the Grammy night.
A 5-star for Kelly.
Humble yourself.
For Kendrick as well.
It's a 5 Grammys for Kendrick, 5 goals for Arsenal. It's just a 5-star weekend.
Yeah, no, they say humility comes in 5s.
Yeah, thank you. I know.
Yeah, it's all about humility. Erling Haaland, sit down, get humble.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, so that was dope.
Delicious.
That was dope. Obviously, highlights, must mention it. Girls making the T20 cricket final. Unbelievably brilliant. The ladies, shout out to the ladies. As we spoke last week, ladies sports on the rise.
Mate, we're actually ticking some big boxes. You think about cricket, you know, you think about the women's football side, you think
rugby.
about the rugby as well, going, you know,
Men's
looking
football
to
as well.
Yeah, talking about women's football. The Arsenal ladies also clocked in a 3-2 win on the weekend.
That equals 5 as well, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, no, give a high five. It's 5. All right.
And then big weekend this weekend. It's a Super Bowl. Super Bowl in New Orleans. Guess who's performing halftime show? Kendrick Lamar.
Where's Drake when this
Oh,
happens?
I don't know. Drake must go sit in the corner in Fiji somewhere because this weekend the stadium is going to be singing A minor.
Like the Grammys did.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the cost of tickets?
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Did you
No,
check that?
I didn't.
Shit, man, I think it was, I'm not sure, I think it was 100,000 or $1.2 million
Oh, that
for
must.
a group of 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
a group of 40.
Yeah,
What
but
do you
obviously.
What do you think?
Yeah. These things get traded obviously over and over again on the black market and so on. So, in terms of it can't be cheap. It is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This one is quite dope because it is a three-peat. Talking about three-peats, Pat Riley, the ex-coach, he registered the trademark three-peat. So anytime that trademark is used in any paraphernalia,
I saw that, actually.
he gets paid 5% royalties. So he's going to make millions this weekend when Kansas City wins. And yes, Sangoma called it Kansas City to win the Super Bowl. Three-peat.
Okay.
Pat Mahomes.
Just tell me where to put the money, bro. I don't
it's in
argue with
the
you.
bag.
90% your
It's in the
success rate in the past 2 weeks,
Yeah,
pretty
we're
much.
not so bad.
Dang,
As long as I'm
nah,
not taking
man.
advice from you, I'm okay.
Right?
man.
No, I sit in the back seat now, bro.
And Pirates, Ciao Chiefs.
You're
How
going
about
back
that?
there.
Yeah.
We're going back there.
Hey, Chief,
Nah,
that's
man,
what
come
we
on.
said
That's
we were
not part of
talking
boys' banter, buddy. Come on,
It
bro.
is the biggest derby in Africa. One of the biggest in the world. You can't ignore it.
You know what? You know why I'm celebrating the Arsenal win so much? Because Arsenal kind of needs those big wins. You know? I think Chiefs needed something this past weekend.
Yeah.
They needed something. I
They
think
did
they
get-
could have maybe got a 1 goal. It could have been the other way, actually. Could
They
have
did
been 1-0
definitely
to
have 1 or
Chiefs.
2 chances.
It could have been 1-0 to Chiefs, and then you guys come with your lighty there, and he does that.
That's his
He
first
does
goal
that.
of the season, and he goes
does
and he
that.
chips it in on that penalty. That takes balls. I've
Yeah.
never seen
Yeah.
anything like that. You can either be a hero or zero right there. You can get cancelled very quickly for
Yeah.
doing that kind of thing. Because if that goalkeeper stood still, you're in a bit of cuck.
Oozing with confidence. He's
Yeah.
hectic. He's hectic. So, yeah, that one, look, it stung. It stung a little bit.
And-
But what a vibe.
No, it was a crazy vibe. Those games, you can't deny them. As papas that derbies become, those games have got a vibe, a special vibe about it, and hence tickets sell out so quickly for those games. But this weekend, also wrapping up, is the SA 20.
Starting to get to the business end.
Yeah,
now,
it's
eh?
the business
Yeah.
end. There's a couple of semis that happened this week, and then the final on the weekend, which I believe is either Centurion or Wanderers or something like that. But any call on who will take that from you?
Mate, I saw last week, I was there with Jordan Burrs and whatnot, and we did a little thing there, and I saw 5 missed catches. I'm not exaggerating, guys. In Centurion, 5 missed catches. So I hope it's in Centurion, because I know exactly where to sit. I'm not going to say too much to too many people there. I was sitting next to the, mate, what a crazy environment. It's a good vibe. I don't know who's going to win it. I think it's quite difficult. It's been inconsistent in a way for me from the games I've watched. you know,
Yeah, and
teams
look,
I've
the
followed.
way the knockouts work are quite interesting because, like, number one kind of gets a dip up front in the quarterfinal. They win, they go straight to the final. Then the loser of that quarterfinal plays the winner of 3 and 4. And then the winner of that will play then the number 2 who lost whoever loses that first quarterfinal.
Okay.
So it's quite an interesting format. It's a similar format that they use in the IPL, because IPL is obviously heavily involved in the tournament.
And also they want to reward the side that does finish top of the log, which I think kind of makes sense. Interesting.
And to be fair, shout out to Betway as the sponsors of that tournament. It's a great tournament. Graham Smith is the CEO of the thing. It's one of the best run tournaments we have in the country.
Locked it until 2028 recently.
So it's a great, how can I put it? It's a great example of how things can be done, but obviously it's nice to have a bit of change, a bit of money. RPL is putting a lot of money into the tournament, but if we do it, we can do it properly, especially on the sporting front. We are kind of world leaders when it comes to sports.
Yeah, and they throw everything at it, so actually, it makes it worth it to actually go to Centurion and go to to watch it live.
But speaking of Betway, you guys were busy saying you've got a 90% record. How do I think like subscribers can start also investing in the idea, I think, bro.
I think,
90% is a good score.
It's a good turnaround, So I think we'll get into that in our future shows. Maybe next show we can kind of give you a breakdown, a workshop on how to bet, where to bet, and kind of maybe start a crowdfunding situation or pool bet. Definitely here as the plustwoseven crew and the BTS crew. We'll start a fund. I'm sitting with the $6,000 at the moment for the steak dinner, But I think we should get something that's a bit more communal going, whereby we've all got skin in the game. Because I can talk and give you the odds, and you can win off the back of my advice. But I think it's more interesting when you've got skin in the game. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Look at this. That's a hard mate. Okay.
But before you guys leave, you're actually saying Adesanya, you think he's done. So we're not getting that Drickus fight. We're not getting a fight in SA between
Maybe that's the loss. Maybe that's actually the true loss of Adesanya going down, right? Is that all of us, unfortunately, that Africa big one kind of shifts away, unless Strickland beats 2-3.
Ish, that would be the set, because then we don't get the Niger boys versus the Soki Musik, bro.
Yeah. Look, I would definitely Drickus has to win this weekend.
Yeah, he has to.
I think you will.
We that goes towards us getting a
home
UFC in South Africa.
Yeah.
So unlucky Adesanya, it can't be an all African situation, but I would rather have it than not have it.
Yeah.
So you don't. So who would they put up with Drickus in South Africa though? Besides Adesanya,
I mean, if he's champion for long enough,
if he beats Strickland,
if he's champion for long enough, they'll bring it around just for whoever he fights.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, people want to see more dos and dos. There's other South African homies out here who will entertain.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hopefully it happens. That's historic.
Yeah, look, we do want to see Drickus. We do want to see a UFC here. I think we well deserve a UFC here, to be fair. But he has to do the business this weekend. Strickland is a hard man.
It's a tricky one, because when I looked into your eyes when I asked you now, can 2 + 3 they do it? And you look like Strickland, you know, yeah?
I'm not worried about
He's a hard
Strickland.
guy.
No knockout power. That guy has to wait for the judges to decide his. You see, now Strickland is busy making our flags fall in the background here with his racism and stuff like that. No, it's fine. It's fine. We stand tall regardless of what he does, But Strickland, we're not worried about Strickland, guys. That guy has no knockout power.
Yeah,
also, he's only got a standing game.
It's difficult to get to,
Drickus himself is a kickboxing champion. Let's not forget that. And he's also got a good ground game. We'll be okay.
Yeah, fair play. I agree with you, mate.
Yeah, so I suppose that's a
Drickus
good
the machine.
segue to get us into the weekend's activities.
Weekend wonders, mate.
No, I think I need to go with my Sangoma 6 first.
Okay, let's go.
Because I haven't made my picks for the weekend. So slow your roll there, Fudge.
Most important part of the show. Listen carefully.
Yeah, so I think, as I mentioned earlier, Superbowl personally for me is the biggest thing this weekend. I really had wished to be there, but obviously won't be there. The best thing is that it's in New Orleans, the home of jazz. So you're going to see some jazz bands and all of that going through, and what are the marching bands? All that will be part of Kendrick's performance, I'm pretty sure. The whole crowd will be singing to Not Like Us. That'll be dope. And then I've got to call Kansas City. I've got to call Kansas City on the 3-peat. Mahomes to do the business. What's your thoughts about that, Fudge?
I think
do you think Philly has any chance there?
I don't think so. I think Kansas, there's legacy about them, man. They've got this legacy thing going about them. They're innovative, so I don't think they would have been complacent in their preparation. And I think they'll thrive under pressure. Honestly, I think diamonds are being built right now, bro. And it's going to be historic. Mahomes, it's every now and again you get the fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Look, either way,
And
Super Bowl is a Super Bowl, and it's going to be a dope performance. Either way, it's going to be a great outing. It's going to be it's like a 5-6 hour evening.
Yeah, one to watch.
The odds are Kansas City are slight favorites. It's just under 8 to 10, 80 cents to the rand, and then Philly are just over 9 to 10, so they're just below even money. Which would be 1-1 on the odds. So Kansas are slight favorites, rightfully so. But it is a Super Bowl and it's a one-off situation, so anything can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not favorites by much. That's actually a good one to watch.
Yeah. No, great one to watch. And then on the English Premier side, there's no Premier League this weekend, but there is FA Cup. So I'll just run through some quick parlay or quick multiple bet that you can take on that. You can just go FA Cup, Full House, Liverpool, City, Leeds, Villa, Fulham, Newcastle, and Chelsea. You should be safe there. And then Six Nations, Fudge, yeah. What's your thoughts there after last week's results? This weekend, Italy plays Wales. I know you fancy a bit of Wales.
Yeah, that's
what
a nice one.
now?
It's a wooden spoon competition there, the trophy that the teams don't want
so
to
you're
win.
already admitting that you owe me that $500 you bet last weekend that they won't finish in the top 3. Or that was Scotland, sorry.
That was Scotland, mate. And you saw what they did to Italy there. That's not fantastic, but we'll wait and see. That's also coming up soon.
Who do you fancy in that wooden spoon then?
I think I hope Italy does it, man. I hope Italy does it because I think they've been punching above their weight for so long. They're one of those countries that actually doesn't have so many foreign players, which I think is quite impressive for being a team like Italy. If you compare them to Ireland, who Gibson Park and Lowe with that 1-2, So for me, I've always been a fan of the Italians. I hope they get one over Wales, even though that might be terrible for Wales. But I think Wales's problems have been around for a while. Maybe they need a bit of a shock treatment. Yeah. So that's what's happening there. Otherwise, there were some expected results as well.
I think they got
Sack the coach.
I think they got a shock treatment with the 43-0 last weekend. But I do agree with you, Italy to win this weekend.
Yeah.
Wales is playing old school rugby. They need to get a new coach. They need to,
Wales kind of reminds me of your old franchise Bulls playing some some dinosaur.
Oh, baby, blow, my friend. What are you saying here, man?
So Italy are 4-10 to beat Wales.
Yeah.
And then I put Ireland down to Charles Scotland at home. 5-10 is a great price on Ireland to Charles Scotland.
What are the So for me, I'll still support Scotland because I'll stick with my guns there. They don't need to win that necessarily to still end up in the top 3. For me, the big one is Scotland, England. I don't think Scotland can take them. I think that Sam Pendergast is doing some other things as well. They're just they're in a very positive space. Rotation starts to work. Players are confident. Players are happy change room, happy performances. And so big win as well against England.
Yeah, no, Ireland, I'm pretty sure Ireland will do the business there.
Yeah, they will.
I'm pretty solid in that one. And then France travel to Twickenham. After what I saw last weekend, and considering Red Roses has a couple of injuries, I think France traveling even with the travel to Twickenham against the Red Roses.
It's buffets. It's buffets, mate. Because it's also there's a lot of beef in that fixture. It's old rivals. It's a huge one, and the French are licking their lips at a bruised and limping England.
Yeah, guys are going to be chowing scones there instead of croissants while they drink their tea. I don't see England doing much there, but it could be a good game. It is still England. The Red Roses are the Red Roses. They are playing at Twickenham. So, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, too much happening behind the scenes for me. It's tough when it's like that in a club as prestigious as RFU in England. Then for me, it's difficult. It's difficult. There's too much pride in the change rooms. I think it'll be difficult for Borthwick to handle under that much pressure. But anyways,
no, fair call. And then just generally weekend wonders. We've got a couple of things coming up. Obviously, the Trickers flights. We've spoken about it to extent. The Madrid derby. that becomes a big one. 1-3 on the log.
It's huge. Eh?
Not so easy. Real Madrid have just dropped points to Espanyol out of all teams. So that'll be a big one this weekend. FA Cup, you're not missing much. The only thing maybe you look out for is Villa play Spurs, and Villa have just signed Marcus Rashford. Yeah.
Marcus Rashford. I love a story like that. How long has it been? I mean, where has Marcus been? Marcus has been at Man United for over a decade, mate. And he's been doing some amazing things, and he gets chirped. He's been sort of like the what do they call it? The sacrificial goat? What's the
sacrificial
word?
lamb?
The sacrificial lamb, right? Yeah. So he's been a little bit of, for me, I felt sorry for him. So I can't wait to see his stuff now. Let's see the character. Yeah, let's see Marcus. Let's see, what are you made of? You know?
Look, he hasn't played since early December. I'd like to think he'll get a bit of a run this weekend. And look, I'll take a look at the odds. But I'll take a cheeky bet on him getting a goal this weekend if he gets a run.
Oh yeah,
why not? Marcus Rashford is a goal scorer at the end of the day.
Yeah, me too. I think good call.
And then besides those things, the big stuff obviously is the Six Nations. It's round 2. This could determine almost the champion. Ireland come through, France comes through, then we know it's a 2-horse race all of a sudden. But I do have a mate of mine who could maybe just give us an opinion on that. This man is... yes, how are you, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm all good, man.
Yeah, so Tommy just left South Africa last night. He landed there this morning.
7 degrees, about a 35 degrees swing.
35 degrees swing, 7 degrees. That's really lovely to be out of Africa, yeah?
Exactly. I was stuck on the runway for a good 2 hours last night without aircon, so I was looking forward to a bit of cold weather, but there we go.
Listen, we've just to introduce everyone. So this is Tom Fillery, an astute gentleman from Hungerford, England, owner of the Yard and Stable Hygiene Services. He runs stables for some of the UK's top horse stables. And he's an avid cricketer and a huge rugby fan and a sports pundit. He used to play rugby for the for Grove Rugby Club, yeah? And
Grove Rugby Club, yeah.
Yeah, and he definitely plays a bit of cricket now and again. Likes to wield his bat a bit. He's a bit of a fast bowler as far as I remember from our last outing. And very much a sports pundit and a horse racing fan. Tommy, tell me, what do you think about last weekend's Six Nations results? And what do you think about the upcoming fixtures this weekend?
Well, guys, I must just say that I was sat behind Johan van Graan, the Bath rugby head coach of Bath Rugby, on the aeroplane last night. So I did actually have a peek over his shoulder. He was watching some of the replays of the games and writing some notes. So I've got a little bit of a better insight of what I thought I saw myself. But I mean, the first game last week, France, they were always going to be I thought a great bet against Wales. Wales, I think 13 runs of losses now. It's just a continual record that they seem to be beating. The handicap was 25 point, minus to France. I mean, I took that. I thought it was a great bet. I couldn't see France getting more than 2 tries in France. And with Intermac back, although he got a red card later on in the game, I just think the French are a different outfit now, and they're really gelling. And I think just watching back at the European rugby the last few weekends before the Six Nations, the French teams are electric. So that was a good bet, I thought. 43 points to nil. Wales just didn't even look like scoring. They looked all over the place. Woeful Wales was the headlines in all of the tabloids on the weekend in England last weekend. And to be honest with you, I don't see Wales winning a game in this whole Six Nations. They've got some tough games the next few weekends. The second game I thought was a really interesting game. I like Italy at the moment. There's something brewing there. They've got Capuozzo. I think Brex in the midfield is a good player. Allen. There just seem to be some good players who've got some good combinations at the moment. And that forward pack looks to be getting stronger and stronger with more players playing European rugby. And they're not just reliant on Zebra or Benetton. These top 14 sides are now got, their starters are Italian players, which I think is really exciting. And although Scotland got off to a really good start, 14-0, after about 10 minutes. I just thought that Italy could dig in, and I actually took the handicap during the game of Italy plus 32 points after it was 14-0. And yeah, listen, Italy got a little bit lucky at an interception try and a couple of knock-ons from Scotland, but I just think there's something gelling there. And yeah, it's exciting times for Italian rugby. Scotland, I think they've got a little bit of a problem in their midfield. The two, their captain's out, Tuapoloto, and their two reserve players who've been playing in the English Premiership. They're also injured, so they're just lacking a little bit in midfield. And I think the way that game played, they were always looking to get on the outside of Italy. So, use Van der Merwe on the wing there, and their fast guys, Blair Kinghorn. So, again, Finn Russell looking good. He made a few mistakes as well, that interception pass. But, I think the scoreline was about right for the game that was played. And then the third game, England... I mean, listen, this is a difficult one to read into. I mean, Simon needs to be taking over the coaching role for Andy Farrell, who's obviously now looking forward to the Lions, which is obviously very exciting. I just fancied England plus 7.5 points on the fact that I think Borthwick is stuck with that squad. I think the squad, I believe they had a good mentality, but in all honesty, they came out of the blocks fast, but I just didn't think they had the energy or the fitness, or something wasn't quite right for the last 20. And, they were 27-10 down with 10 minutes to play. And I was lucky backing England plus 7.5 that I managed to get 12 points just to cover that handicap.
Yeah.
So that was last weekend's game, Shavs, in a small nutshell.
Yeah, and tell me then this weekend, just running through the fixtures quickly, Ireland, Wales, Italy, Wales, Ireland, Scotland.
Italy, Wales, yeah, Italy-Wales, the first game. And when I've been watching the handicaps started first up Italy minus 5.5 points. And actually, there's been a bit of money now for Italy, so they're minus 7.5. Yeah. That doesn't change the bet I'm going to have. I'm going to be backing Italy minus 7.5. I think whatever game Warren Gatland brings to Italy, if it's a structured, strong game, then I think the pack will be able to handle it with Italy and they'll absorb that pressure. And I think the outside backs for Italy can finish off the game nicely. And I think the handicap's wrong here. I had Italy down as minus 14, minus 15.5. So I'm pretty happy with the 5, 6, or 7.5.
And Ireland,
England, France. Say again.
Ireland, Scotland.
Ireland, Scotland. I can't see Ireland worrying too much about Scotland. I think minus 5.5 points is a good bet for Ireland. I'd be on that handicap as well. Yeah. I think there's too much power in the centre midfield. I mentioned that Scotland have got some problems in their centres at the moment. I think even Finn Russell's not going to be able to win that game for them up there.
And then the big one, England-France. What's your call there?
Shavs, I'm an England fan. I'm a South African fan. I've got my head here and my heart in South Africa. But listen, if you're an England rugby fan and you understand the game, England can't get within 10 points of France, even though it's at Twickenham.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
I mean, all three of them, Chabs. I'm Italy minus 7.5, France minus 5.5, and Ireland minus 5.5. I think it's a strong treble. I think the best bet is Italy. I think the second best bet is Ireland, and then France will probably do the business against Ireland minus 5.
I love the way you leave the England game to the last, which is that's my more favorite. No, but Tommy, thanks so much for taking time between your doctor's appointments and your arrival and all of that.
Quick one, Tom.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. This is Mabeta. Actually, Johan van Graan was my coach back in the day. But quick one for you. You seem to be quite a very astute sports lover. Try to win it, goal to win it, wicket, middle stump to win it, or to win a horse race. What would you say is the best feeling?
The best feeling at knocking that middle pole out of the ground.
Yeah,
Tommy,
fair play.
Philly, thanks so much for your time, mate. Take care. Go get some jumpers on, get warm, and I hope the doctor didn't give you too bad news.
Absolute pleasure, guys, and thanks for having me on. And listen, hopefully I can be on again and we can start talking about steak dinners and stuff.
Brilliant, and hope to have you on soon, and we'll see you hopefully soon in June at Lords and at Ascot.
Cheers, guys. Have a great week. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, bud.
Cheers, man.
Bye-bye.
Nice one. Hey,
Yeah.
you know everyone, mate. The
No,
sports
man.
sango.
Just a friend from the past. Actually, I was with him at lunch yesterday. We're just catching up and trying to make plans for our future trip coming up in June, where South Africa is playing in the Test finals against Australia at Lords on the 11th of June. So that's what we were actually talking about yesterday over lunch. But yeah, outside of that, Fudge weekend, big weekend all round. No Premier League this weekend, but lots more going on. Trickers, Super Bowl.
Yeah, where are you going to be? In terms of like a little bit of a weekend walkabout? You're always somewhere interesting.
But I'm not too sure at the moment. I'm going to go down to the mining in Daba this evening. And then we will see over the weekend. I'm supposed to be traveling back to KZN to go watch some schoolboy cricket. St. Charles are playing Hilton at Hilton.
Oh yeah, the season started now for school
sports. There's a young man I've been following there, Mr. Tando Zama, opening batsman for St. Charles. He's averaging in the 40s or 50s. He's doing quite well. And you know, school sports is a big thing these days with super sports schools around. We'll definitely get into a bit more school sport banter in the upcoming shows.
Yeah, they love the banter, especially the rugby season, but the cricket as well. Apparently, there's a lot of beef happening in the Eastern Cape, Selborne, Queen's College, Dale, and the guys. Yeah, with the cricket. So
always interesting conversation there.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess that's about it, guys, for the show. It is the month of love, first show for Feb. That was a nice one. Sports Sango, my 90% success rate over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
steak dinners are being spoken about all the way in London.
Don't put the mockers on me, Fudge.
Come on now.
Yeah, let's hope we continue with that percentage. And where will you be this weekekend? Anything special covering this weekend?
Nothing special. I might be doing some women's rugby again. I had an amazing time out in East London watching the Bulls, watching Border against the Lions, Golden Lions women's side, the Border ladies. Border ladies did really well there. Remember, it's a World Cup year, so like every weekend, the intensity is just here, you know. Everyone wants to get that ticket to London. So it's been awesome. I might be at that. Otherwise, you'll find me in Centurion Wanderers, mate. Watching that SA20 final.
Excellent. Good to see you, Fudge.
I'm not going to be doing anything interesting, but just to say, I think we need to make some merch shirts saying, "What do you have at stake?" with a big steak. I think this is... If we get enough people to be part of the crowdfunding, we'll start funding the shirts to come out, bro.
We go to the 4P. He's gonna need to make a new patent as well. Right, 4P next year.
So look, we'll get into the subscribers and discount codes and things like that we'll get into in the following weeks. And people that subscribe and like, we'll probably send you some special sports sangoma parlays, multiples that you can bet on and make your own money at home.
So make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, on YouTube. And a lot of small clips are coming up. The long format is coming up as well. I can't wait for that one. The way sport has gone so far, with Lewis Hamilton coming up as well.
Interesting times ahead. No, Fudge, good to see you again as always.
Mate. That's Vibes and Victories, guys. Thank you very much. Next time.